So I've been playing a ton of destroyers recently. Ranked battles, the goal is to win. DDs are just going to be the best way to win, right? They have the most battle impact in this game mode. You're going to be contesting cap zones, killing other DDs, making sure your team wins all of these engagements and the information battle. But just because DDs are the best way to do it, it doesn't mean that battleships can't have battle impact. Radar cruisers are obviously really important to take out as a battleship and focus on to try and free up some space and room to maneuver for your destroyers. Of course, if you're wondering about battle impact, a radar cruiser is a really good way to have battle impact as well. It's all about killing destroyers, contesting areas of the map. So as a battleship player, what do? If you want to be playing battleships in ranked and winning games, this is for randoms as well. You got to be focusing targets of priority. So I know I'm not going to do a ton of damage to the gearing in this situation, but what's important is we kill this Worcester who's pushing in. Sure, he's on low HP. We've already hit him pretty hard, but this Worcester, if your radars, could easily take out our Shimakaze. He's obviously angling quite well to myself and this Des Moines, so he's not going to go down too quickly to our Des Moines, for example. So that's why I'm trying to focus him out. And by pushing in aggressively here behind our Des Moines, if you see your teammates pushing, you should just probably go with them. Even if it's not the exact right moment to push, it's better to play as a team than to run solo plays and think that you're doing the right thing. It's really about team play here. So our Des Moines goes in, and I'm trying to help him out. What's his biggest threat right now? Well, probably the Kurfürst in the middle on his broadside, let's be honest. But let's say the second biggest threat here is that the Worcester burns him down, for example. I know my Des Moines with his radar is going to do a ton of damage to this gearing. So instead of having our Des Moines focus on two different things, I try and take out the Worcester to help him out. And of course, now that he's taken out, we can both focus on this gearing, and we're hopefully going to sneak in a little salvo here before the gearing goes behind the island. So I always do try to focus the target of priority. Sometimes it isn't a destroyer. Sometimes it is that radar cruiser, especially if it's a radar cruiser caught in a bad position like that. Later on in this game, I just wanted to mention a way to guarantee you take out a cruiser. For example, a Henry can be very hard to kill as a kiting long-range HE threat, but this Henry gets caught bow into us, and he can't turn away because I have a salvo ready, and even though there's some RNG, it's very likely that I dev strike him if he turns out within 10 kilometers. I'm at least going to do a huge hit. So what do? I don't shoot my guns. It's just that simple. This Henry is the last ship alive. I want to guarantee that we kill him and win this game. We probably win anyway, even if he did manage to turn out. But I just hold my shot. You could, for example, spread your salvo out instead of firing all your guns. Maybe fire the front two and then wait on the back two. That's something that could have been done as well. But we wait until we're close enough to guarantee some big damage. Unfortunately, no Citadel through the bow, but we overmatch his bow. And as he's turning to maybe get some torpedoes off on us, we do reload and manage to take him out. Battleships have impact. They just need to choose the right moment to push in. A lot of times, that's at the very beginning. Pushing aggressively behind your destroyers. Notice we have two DDs here. There's a Zhao as well. We want to be getting into these engagements. Radar cruiser pops up. Well, we probably want to take a salvo at him, since he's probably going to be radaring our Sherman here, for example. So that's really what it comes down to. I personally think that DDs are going to have more battle impact than a battleship. And you're probably going to win more games playing a destroyer well than you will a battleship well. Same with radar cruisers. I think a little bit of a step behind a destroyer as far as battle impact when played well, but still a very good option to win ranked games. The real reason I find that battleships tend not to be as battle impactful is just down to RNG. I think that DDs overall are going to be more consistent, radar cruisers next most consistent, and then battleships last. It's a very close range to be shooting at a Des Moines and we get no damage on it, right? It's a little unfortunate, but that's just the reality of battleships. And the reason I talk so much about positioning and pushing and supporting teammates in these videos about battleships is because you really can't control the RNG. I'm trying to help you guys and talk about my decision making to control the parts of the game that I can control as a Battleship player. And that's mainly my positioning and the target that I'm focusing on, right? That's really what it comes down to as a Battleship. You can't control the RNG. Sometimes you'll miss a Des Moines at 10 kilometers, and the next time you'll get an insane half HP salvo into a Yamato. And that's really what it comes down to as Battleships dealing with RNG. So even though I do want to play Destroyers more if I'm playing ranked and trying to win all these games, Battleships can still do a decent job. They're just a little bit more frustrating. And the reason that I tend to avoid playing them some of the time is that you get these huge, massive salvos and you make plays based on those salvos, right? I decided to avoid shooting the Shimakaze here. I decided to focus on the enemy Yamato who's turning broadside. And I think that's the right play because the Shimakaze is going to go dark. I'll get a few overpens on him. But if we can kill this Yamato outright, it opens up this entire flank for us to control. And of course, on this flank, there's 2 capture zones, right? So it's really these kinds of decisions that come down to if you're going to win games or not. And I think that was the right decision to go after the Yami there. But what happens if our shells land short? What happens if dispersion gets in the way, right? Suddenly it doesn't look like the right decision, even though I do think it was the right thing to go for. Of course, we can push aggressively and just take this Des Moines out. There's really not much he can do to get away at this point. He pushes forward to, I don't know, maybe try and come for a ram, hoping that our dispersion will be bad, but I wait for him to come out around the island and manage to overmatch him through the bow. I was waiting though. I didn't want to necessarily shoot, just in case he got stuck on the island and, I don't know, maybe some island physics get in the way of me actually taking him out there. But we went on to win that game, and our pushing in aggressively behind our destroyers, impacting those early engagements, really helped our team there. In this situation, we're going to lose both our TDs. We've already lost our Harugumo. We're going to lose our gearing very shortly here, and that's unfortunate, right? Pretty early on in a match to be losing all our DDs. And then we just have to push. The only reason that this game is going to go reasonably well later on is that there's a carrier to deal with some of those hidden destroyers, right? So the Kerr first goes broadside, right? We do manage to take him out. And this clip, I'm not going to lie, it's more about being able to brawl in an Ohio. That doesn't always happen in random battles. It's nice to see it happening and seemingly working in a ranked game. To deal with a bow on Kremlin, I'm actually going to swap over to HE. Kremlin has such a small superstructure that's very, very difficult to get those full pen salvos into it, so I'm just going to rely on HE into his bow, which we know can pen, and to try and get fires. Our secondaries are going to help with that, of course. Our carrier's just crushing him with his dive bombers too. But that's what this game is going to be. It's just slowly pushing across the caps and shooting at DDs when our carrier is hopefully going to spot them for us. So let me know in the comments down below what class of ships you prefer to play in ranked battles. For me, it really is destroyers, even though I know people tend to know me as the battleship guy. DDs are just so much more interesting to me in these games where I'm trying to win the match. I don't have to make plays based on RNG or different sorts of dice rolls that are coming into play there. DDs are really often about making the right play and then executing based on that. There's a lot of skill involved with it, and it is pretty hard. And I even don't always get the answer right. A lot of times I'll make a mistake, play too aggressively, and then lose my ship. And starve, more than likely, if I'm dying early on. And today I managed to get up to silver rank 4, I believe, all the way from silver rank 10 just starting out. So we're going to get up into Gold League soon enough, and hopefully these same ideas are going to translate over to Gold League. For those of you who don't know, I'm of the opinion that there's going to be similar play styles at all ranks. Bronze, silver, and gold, you're going to get good players and you're going to get bad players. But I really do think that destroyers are the way to go in all leagues if you're trying to win games. But that doesn't mean that battleships can't have some impact. If you time your pushes correctly, playing around teammates, and getting involved in the battle early on is really going to help you have some battle impact and some success in ranked battles as a battleship player. You do have to watch out though if you're playing cruisers or radar cruisers to watch out for those early battleship pushes. They can definitely hurt and take you out quickly. So it is important to play a little more cautious in ranked as a radar cruiser. As we push across though, we are able to at least help our team take out the Montana. And then of course we're gonna get this Hergamo and win ourselves the game. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying these ranked videos. I've actually been having a lot of fun playing ranked these days. The 6v6 is really helping the maps feel a little more interesting, a little more close range fights are happening, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope you guys are too. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.